Well, Born Out of Wenlock is the account really of the Games during William Penny Brookes' lifetime, so from when he began them in 1850 until his death in 1895. And then we go on to the early modern Olympic Games in 1896 at Athens, and then really just through to the First World War. But it's an account really of why he might have started the Games, some of the competitors who took part, how the Games changed over the years, and of course, most importantly, the contribution they made to the modern Olympics. It was a very agricultural setting at that time. Agriculture was one of the main employers, as well as quarrying up a little bit higher up. And one of the main problems they had with health was particularly pulmonary diseases that affected the lungs, both from dust from farming, from threshing corn, and from quarrying. And there was, of course, no amusement for the working classes at the time. Strict segregation between the classes in Victorian society, but that's why Brookes was so exceptional. He started his annual games for every social class of person, and so it was really a great innovation. There was really nothing else on offer for them at the time. The other thing he was trying to tackle, it had a very unenviable reputation for drunkenness. In fact, when the teetotalers came in to try and change their ways, they were drummed out of town and had the windows broken where they had their meeting. So yes, it was a big problem in the town because there was really no other recreation after a long day's work. There was nothing on offer except for the beer houses, and that's where lots of people went. I was told about the story by the proprietors of the local hotel, the Raven, in Much Wenlock, and at first I thought it sounded like a good tourist line for them. Yeah, I could see why they'd be keen on the story, but eventually they kept goading me, and I had a good look, and I'd written a book about Victorian rural society before, Champagne and Shambles, about a country estate, and so it was my period and the same kind of setting, so I thought, yes, I will have a look, and the more I looked, the more extraordinary the story became, and so I was hooked. The Olympian Society have been incredibly generous. They've given me access to all their material, and it's a fantastic resource for a historian. But of course I did have to go a little bit further afield as well to find out the sort of things that might have influenced Brookes, and for the sort of things that didn't make, because he was selecting the material for their archives. So of course, yes, I needed to do a bit more as well. But they've been very supportive throughout and very, very helpful. One of the delights I was very surprised to find was that when Brookes had taken his games from the local level onto county level and then to national level with the National Olympian Association, at their Crystal Palace Games in 1866, W.G. Grace came over from a cricket match at the Oval and took part in the 440 yards hurdles and indeed won. So that was a little gem that I hadn't expected to find. It was very nice to unearth. But there were lots of other stories about local participants, and I tried to find out a little bit about their lives outside the Games. And so we had a good bit of infidelity and embezzlement and murder even as well in there. So it was I hope it's quite a lively read. You can get them from your local bookshop, but if you'd like a signed copy, come to my website on www.cbeale.co.uk.